Looking really grainy here. Just stopping in. Just stopping in for a quick evening hello. It has been a while, and it's definitely been a while since you have seen me in the evenings. So I just wanted to stop in. It is the full moon energy that we're just stepping into, and um, I was doing some writing over there, and as I was writing over there about for my mystical realm class tomorrow, I just kind of had that feeling, that urge that I needed to go live and just share a little bit of share a little bit of um, loving, healing energy for this full moon right now and for the world. And so we have a lot of Jazz. We have a lot of worldly healing that is needed right now. And I've been spending a lot of time in healing and sending healing into the world. And I just want to stop in. So I'm here. Jazz, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. While we're waiting for the room to fill up, I do have to let my dog out. And I'm trying to bring up on my phone so I can actually see if there's. Oh, 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 so I do have people. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Uh, we're just letting the room fill up a little bit and letting the energy come into the room. And as we let the energy come into the room, I'll start being able to give out a reading for the full moon. So I'm going to give a full moon reading. I'm going to do a 3-card full moon reading for you, and I'm going to share the information that I get for the full moon energy that I am picking up right now. So hello to everybody who's here. Hello to everyone who's new. Hello to everyone who is my regular followers. It has been a while since I've been in my evenings. I have been taking some serious time off for some self-care, some, self-love. I do have a lot of YouTube videos that are out that are on a journey. I got the whole hi, hi, hi. Hi, Natasha, Felicia. There you are, Lara. Okay, I do. Oh, never mind. She's sidetracked. She's up licking the face of the other dog. So, um, welcome. And this is if you have not seen me in this setup, this is my new house. This is where I am now living. This is the move that I was making. This was a part of the break, the reason why you haven't seen me. uh, a lot of little whoopses in here tonight. And so why you haven't seen me was I've taken a break. I'm doing a lot of writing. I finished writing one of my books fully. I'm right in the middle of chapter 6 of filling in the other book, and another book is fully written. So there is 3 books that are getting ready to be, getting that much closer. And so, uh, yes, Tracy, you got to catch me live. Hi, everybody. Hello, Kayla and Lisa. Hello. Very last minute in here, guys, tonight. Jaden, hi, Amy, Dee, Raquel, Felicia, Natasha, Michelle, hello, hello. So I have no idea why I had to come in, but I'm here. So anyway, I was just letting the room fill up and just chatting a little bit, and ignore the 2 dogs that are over there licking each other's face. That's what they do. They're sisters. Uh, so I want to do a 3-card reading for this full moon energy. If you were at my house right now and you walked out on my deck, you would see the full moon coming up over the little bank, over the little hill over here on the side. And you would see the moon, and it would, if we walked to the hill, it would be like you could walk over and touch the moon. That's how close the moon feels like it is to where I am right now. And so I'm in Sylvan Lake, and it's like the moon is like right there. That's what it feels like. And so that this is they call it a blue moon. This is also a sturgeon moon, and this new moon comes with a lot of love energy and a lot of abundance. There's just a lot that comes with a full moon. So there's a lot of attachments that we have to our own stories of like poverty, lack of, this lifetime, other lifetimes. And I'm just in the middle of creating the second part of Stars Beneath the Sea. And that's the name of it. And it's the the mystical realm that I'm teaching, and I'm teaching it tomorrow. So you can still, if you missed the first one, you can still get into this one and get the recording for last week's. It is 2 week series, and so you can get in and you can still get into tomorrow's as well. And it's like 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Last week's was incredible. It turned out to be some like amazing healing and some amazing messages that came through. And so tomorrow's is tomorrow. Last week I did the whales, the dolphins, like really connecting to that energy and the vibrations and the sounds. And this week we are doing the Atlantis energy and Atlantis and ascension and that kind of work through this coming Sunday. So if you missed it on that one, you can still get in. Full moon blessings to you too, Rose. And hi everyone who's joining. Hello, Wendy. And Lisa just posted to the school. And also tomorrow morning, if you're available tomorrow morning at 11, I think Lisa also has something that she's doing, a meditation and a reading and stuff that's also available in the school tomorrow morning. So that's available. We have a lot of things. Yes, last week's was amazing. Underneath the stars under the sea was amazing. So, and we also have a lot of new things coming up, and we also have More Than Existing starting again. So, for anyone who's new, welcome. I am the founder, the creator, and the author of More Than Existing, and I am the creator and of the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. And these are not out yet, but we are going to be doing something special with these cards coming up in October. And so we're going to be launching that as well soon. But we also have More Than Existing. So this new moon energy, and I'll talk more about More Than Existing in a bit as we go through the cards. Well, we send lots of healing love for your puppy dog, Felicia. Oh, never mind. That event is not tomorrow. I got that all wrong. I've been doing that all day. Never mind. Never mind. That event is tomorrow morning. My event is tomorrow. So tomorrow at 5 p.m. is my event at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So you can still get into my event tomorrow at 5 p.m. So funny. Okay. I'm determined to do this to you, Lisa. Okay, so I am starting out with Call It Baron Reads the Enchanted Map tonight, and then I'm going to go into my cards as well. And so we're doing the energy for this full moon. This full moon energy is tonight, tomorrow, and then it trails for a few days. Hello, Tyler. Right, night lives are, yeah. And I used to always do nighttime lives. I never used to do morning time lives. And then because I teach so much in the fall, all my lives are done in the morning because I teach almost every night of the week once fall hits. So and that's why I went from evenings to mornings, but I love the evenings. So let's start with the full moon. Let's get into it. And I am getting really warm. So I know the healer in me, I know the channel is like, she just like lighting up here. She wants to get going. So, and so she wanted 2 cards. So 2 cards to start with the past story. So with the past and what a full moon does, it lights up the shadows, right? So it brings attention to what we are mushrooming, what we are hiding, what we have in the dark, what we need to bring attention to. Oh, right. My hooks, my strings are out. What we need to bring attention to right now in our lives, like what needs attention, what are we ignoring, what are we neglecting. And so for the first thing came in my mind tonight was poverty mindset or lack of, or these fear stories that we get stuck in that are around not having enough. And so gentle gardener is what I get. And if you see, there's this, and then I have the bone collector. And the reason why 2 cards came out, and I'm not reading from Colette's book. This is like I'm intuitively, I'm speaking the channel. So the cards are imagery for me. And so the bone collector and her if you see these two white, it's hard to see, but you see those two white-haired ladies, right? You see the one looking down, you see the one that is sitting right here. And so I'm going to really go with what I'm getting here is that I'm having the divine mother, I'm having the divine mother from above and the divine mother of Mother Earth kind of connecting here, and the divine ancestors. So we have some ancestral stories and some healing that needs to be done in the ancestral line. So anything that you've been carrying forward, anything that's ancestral linked, like that you've been genetically connected to, like let's say you keep repeating that same poverty story over and over again, or you've lived in that poverty mindset. And by poverty doesn't mean you were always physically poor. It means that, it also means that you could have this sense of lack of, like, no one loves me, nobody's there for me, I never have enough, there's never enough in the world for me. And what we're being told with all of this is that everything that you ever needed to succeed, to survive in this world, to be in this world, you arrived with it. You were born with it. Everything that you could possibly have needed to succeed, like, not, don't look at your material, but the potential exists within us. The tools, the intelligence, everything that we need is in us. But we have this sense of, because of conditioning and programming, that we forget. And so we have like amnesia to the fact that the soul that exists within you has already lived many lifetimes, and that you can tap into the essence of the soul self to be able to access the records and access some of what you need to move forward in this life, whether it is healing, whether it's inspiration, whether it's empowerment. It is all within you. And so what she's telling us, what we are getting tonight, is that the only thing that stands in the way of us and living a better life is often us. And I'm not comparing it to every situation. I'm saying in how we cripple ourselves and how we hold ourselves hostage. And so that poverty mindset keeps coming up, so that we shut ourselves off to the bank, to the treasures that exist within us often. That's what we do. And because we are programmed and conditioned, hello, Susan and Stacy and Mary Ann and everyone else who's joining in. Hello, hello. And so that's a common thread. And so if that's a common thread in your life, tonight with this full moon, what we're picking up, it's a good opportunity to start to break the chains. I just got like Fleetwood Macs. I just could see like this image of like a Stevie Nicks, but ancient, older looking, like that whole gypsy soul. And I'm like, this is either like gypsy kind of healer, medicine woman that's stepping in energy. And she's like, what are you going to do? And what are you going to do about it? And how are you going to do this? So I have a lot of like, I'm really picking up New Orleans tonight. I don't know why. I'm really picking up New Orleans. I don't know if somebody in here has a tie to New Orleans, like some sort of link to that New Orleans energy. Like, I'm like, I have old medicine woman-y kind of like energy coming in here. And I've seen this woman before. I know I channel through a woman, like an energy of somebody from there, but I just feel like it's like, you know what, you've got it all. How much more do you need before you start to make a choice to not to live in misery? How much more, like, we think we have forever here. You got one lifetime as this person. The soul got, probably many more, but you got one lifetime as this person. And it's like, you have to look at your life, look at the people in your life, and you have to look at the opportunities that we have to live, right? And so this is what we're being told. This is a beautiful, gentle reminder, not a lecture, and to stop punishing yourself, stop lecturing yourself, stop like holding yourself back, and start to break the chains, break the genetic curses, break the, how many genetic, yeah, how many like genetic, like passed down, family curses have you heard of? Like, and that means, oh, we never had that. We could never be that. That doesn't, that doesn't work in our life, or no, my family would never believe in that. Who cares what your family would ever believe in? You have to care about you, and you have to care about what you what you can truly set yourself free to expand your mind, your heart, to open yourself up, to let things in. And it's so important. And I don't know why they needed me to tell you this tonight, but they needed me to tell you this tonight. So if you're in here and you're hearing this, then you're not here by accident. And I'm not on here for no reason because I'm on holidays. And here I am, right? And I'm like, and I've been away for a while. And part of my reasons for being away was some big healing that I had to do in me. And so, yeah, well, Susan, tonight you're here so that you can start breaking the chains once in a blue moon, right? Like this is an opportunity tonight. This is power that's in this full moon, that these curses that we have, we start to let them break. We have a healing that's happening. The healer that exists within through me is like illuminating this powerful energy tonight, this powerful healing that we can step in and we can allow ourselves to step into the rings. And so there's this ring of violet flame. So the power of the Saint Germain, the power of the I am, and the I am that's bigger than your ego. And so the bigger than, and I don't mean like, and so when we talk about ego, we talk about what the fears and the stories that we tell ourselves about why we're not allowed to live a good life or why we can't live a good life. And you're here to live a good life. And those that love us, that are on the other side, that's what they want us to do. We can't feel them. We can't let them ascend to be of service and let them be these big winged ones that's going to like, they come in with such powerful energy. When we rise our energy, when we rise our vibration, the happier that you can start, or the joy that you can bring into your heart, and you can start to find that, the more connected you are to spirit world. Did you know that? Right? So the deeper the healing that you do, the more that you cut the chains, you break the chains, you ask, and you can't do it on your own. Stop trying to do it on your own. You need guidance. You need to ask the spirit world to help you. You need to ask the guides. You need to ask God, help me. Ask. The power of prayers, in my prayers that are um, in the school, in the More Than Existing Academy, is that that's not a religious thing. It's the ability to learn to be able to have the power to ask, to stay committed without desperation, and to stay devoted to faith, and knowing that faith takes such action. And if anyone, there's people in here that's been working with me for years, and they've been through hell and back. And we're not here to live, we're here to start to create that change in our lives. And so they know that I don't go easy on anybody. I don't take it easy on you. You have to do the work. And we can't play victim, and we can't play the survivor, and we can't play we can't play the archetypal roles of our lives and stay in that same story and expect our lives to change. You can't change, you can't heal in lower vibrating energy. You got to raise your vibration. You got to be willing to raise your vibration, and nobody else can do it for you. You have to be willing to do it. I can guide you. I can give you all the tools. I can do all of that. It's the whole story of you can lead a horse to water, but you can never force the horse to drink. And that's where we are with this full moon. So what it's more than existing. Exactly, Lisa. More than existing program. You want to change your life? Get in more than existing. Make the commitment to you. But the past, this is what they're telling us. They're being very, like, this is elder energy. This is grandma energy. This is like divine mother. I call this like my Saint Anne energy. This is like the women who have walked the earth, who lived, who went through so many traumatic things that it's like you can't tell them that there's not a possibility that you can still open your heart, because they know what it's like. Mother Mary, Mother Mary. You can't tell her that she don't know suffering, right? You can't tell her, and she still opened her heart, and she was still of service to herself and to others. And that's what we're being told, is that we have everything within us to be able to come into us and allow our hearts to open to the healing that is coming in, right? And so to be able to do this, I was doing well until my husband was told he may have a critical life changing medical condition. Why? So I think you're asking the wrong question. Is how can we put our focus into seeing him healed and well? So he may have it. It hasn't fully been diagnosed yet, right? Is that what you're telling me? So I feel like that's what you're telling me. But what if there's a miracle, right? So what if there's a miracle? He's not gone. He's still here, Susan. And so you can't see the same outcome. You have to see that this may be a challenge. This may not be easy. And it's stress that does this stuff to our body, of course. It's hard on our bodies, it's hard on us. And so you may be facing something, but tonight, today, tomorrow, what if there's a miracle? Or what if he makes it through this just fine? Not saying it's going to be easy, but seeing a different result than where you're allowing your thoughts to go, because it's the trauma brain, it's that traumatic thought that is leading the way instead of the faith, right? And so we're not in the same situation. It's not the same story. So we can't relate your beautiful story, your beautiful child story to right here, right now. We can call in that amazing son of yours, Sebastian. We can call him in and say, hey, Sebastian, shine your light. And I believe he can really help in some way. So this is where you ask for the power of prayers without a doubt that there's something coming that can help bring love, help bring that healing, love, and light into your lives and into your family. And what if it is not as bad? What if there's just some magical or some sort of healing that comes, or some sort of, like, the best surgeon in the world or the best specialist in the world shows up and he makes it through just fine, right? And so that's our hope. So I'll hold that hope for you. I'll send those prayers out for you, and I hope that you do the same, Susan. Like, let's just go to that thought and let's put our focus into there. And if we send out a power of an amazing prayer chain, that maybe you'll see those miracles. And so to just know that this is not happening to you because of anything that you've done. This is light. Like, this is what your husband's going through right now, is our physical human bodies and the fragility that's in our physical human body, and that our human, sadly, has goes through these experiences. But what if there's a miracle? What if there's something different? So staying on that faith train for you, Susan. And then we're going to go to the right here, right now. Catherine, time for change. No going easy on me. Exactly. No going easy on you. Yes, Ronita. Ronita is one of those who has been with me for a long time. And when I met Ronita, she had gone through, you can't even imagine, like, it's unimaginable. Unimaginable. Damn you. That's right. That's why you have me in your life. And so, and in that time, she made a choice to choose her, knowing she had to still walk through her grief, knowing what she'd have to go through. And in one incident, she lost so many people in one accident. And she lost her family. And she still made it through university to become a teacher, got her degree. And there was so many times that was so difficult, but here she is. I am so freaking proud of her for what she has done. And she's a living miracle. And that is the she is of the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. She is of her creation. We're going to be challenged, we're going to be tested, we're going to have grief, we're going to have unimaginable things happen to us, and we all are. We all will have to go through something that's so unimaginable. Those faded experiences that are we're in we're in those relationships with people who are not going to be here as long as we're going to be here. And to be able to do that, and our family, our loved ones don't want us to quit on ourselves. And so, Susan, your son don't want you to quit on you, and don't want your husband and you to quit on believing in miracles and faith and that beautiful rainbow energy that surrounds you daily. I believe there may be something more beautiful coming in, and I'm holding that for you. I love you too, Ronita. And so our very right here, right now card. Dry desert. Hope. Hope. What's on the other side of the horizon? And that's what we're sending out tonight, is hope and faith, and holding that hope and holding that faith. And so, yeah. And I'm pulling one of my cards to go with this as well. So this is the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. The Stargazer. We have to become an observer of our own lives. We have to become that observer of where we have been. And I always say, look at the woman, the man, the person that you were at the end of every one of your stories, of where you didn't know you would have the strength, the courage, and you found it. And you didn't find it, it existed within you. That's our God will. Inside of each and every one of us, we have a God will. We have something that is so powerful that when we get out of our own way, when we don't know where we can get the strength, the courage, when we just don't know where it'll come from, that God will steps in. And when God will steps in, it rises us. And you don't have to believe in God like a man in the sky. God is the God consciousness. It is the energy of the golden ray. It is the energy of the light. And then it's surrounded by the Christ-like light and the white light. And there's something so powerful that when you start to step back into that energy, and you fall away from you, and you trust something that is more powerful, and you become the observer of watching and existing in that energy, that you see your life being able to peel away all of these things, but also finding a strength you didn't know existed. And sometimes you just have to just step away, and you have to let yourself crumble. You have to let yourself fall. You have to let yourself be angry. You have to let yourself go through all stages of grief and all stages of ascension. And all stages of grief is knowing that there's no way out of your experience. You're in it. You have to come through. It's always going to be a presence in your life, but it's rising into that energy of hope and faith that there is an opportunity for me to feel, for me to exist. And for Ronita, her mom just joined in, Gail. And so Susan, Gail is a good example too of somebody who just knows, who's been there. She knows the experience. And, sometimes you just need someone else to also be there, to just let yourself be able to vent to, and just be able to let it all out. And so I got some beautiful women in my life that can also be there for you, be there for each other, and send out those prayers. So we're all sending prayers to Susan tonight. And so the observer is telling us that, things may seem dry. Things may seem like there's no hope. Things may feel like there is no more opportunities. We may be in that poverty mindset. If you've been here since the beginning, we're doing a 3-card reading for the full moon energy. And so we just did the past cards, and now we're moving into the very present moment. And so if you look close, there's like cactus over there, and there's hills. But what if over there, everything that you're waiting for is there? But we have to walk the path of the unknown. You have to walk the trails you haven't walked before. You have to walk the direction. So you have to build that sense of a new way to be within yourself. So my YouTube video today, if you've been following my YouTube videos and you're probably thinking, what the fuck happened to Corey? And why is Corey doing these? And why do we not see Corey and all we see is pavement? And there's a reason to each and every one of them. And if you walk with me, and you don't even have to move, you only got to sit on the couch. But I would really like for you to walk with me. If you walk with me, you'll walk in that light. And that was the journey that I took in walking with the man who walked on earth, who was the healer. Each and every day I walked with Jesus. Each and every day I walked with the Ascendant Masters. Each and every day I walked with the highest version of me. I walked with myself and walked into myself to be able to question me, question what I was doing, question my why, and questioned, why, tell me why me. And that was speaking to myself. And so tonight's was about calm, that if you can learn the habit of calm, because you can quickly go to the habit of chaos. You've walked that path 1,000 fucking times. If you can walk the path to calm, if you can learn to put things, I can't even get out. If you can learn to put things in compartments and to very much say, okay, this is not today's, this is an old story. What are we doing today? What is happening today? What is happening today? What is the situation we are facing today? What are we looking at? And we learned that power of staying calm. And I used to get shit for being very calm. And so I thought I would have become more into the problems. And so I found myself getting more angst and anxiety because I used to be very calm and level-headed, and I could deal with anything. And I still am if you speak to some of the people in my life that, like, we could have somebody come in and have a major problem and everybody else would panic. And I just have that, and that knowing to just, it's, let's look at the problem. Let's find the real problem first. Because if you're trying to fix everything in one bag of like mixed fucking nuts, if you put everything into one bag and then you're just trying to like shake it up and you're trying to do all these things, well, it's not going to work. And you can never fix your old self. And the more that you keep putting yourself into programs and into life where you're trying to fix you and you're trying to fix the old you, it's never going to succeed. You have to walk into becoming the you of today. What do I need to do today to become this woman who now has to live with what she's done, who now has to live with the hurt, has to live with the grief, has to live with everything that I've been through? What do I need to do for her? And how do I become the best of her? And that's hope. That starts with hope. And hope has this powerful energy that then is activated with faith. And faith is believing in something that you cannot see. And if you've been following me for years, you know that I spoke about when all of this came down, when we went through all of this, when all the COVID stuff happened. I'm like, why is it so easy for people to believe in fear of something you cannot see, but you will question faith in something you cannot see? Why is that so easy? It's because fear is programmed. Fear is programmed to keep you emotionally and spiritually immature, to keep you crippled to a story. And so every time that you put your focus into, I need to fix what I did wrong, I need to fix the me. Well, you're trying to fix a version of you that's now dead. So now you're playing with the ghost of you, the past versions of you, and you're trying to recreate. But even if you were able to bring some of that energy, if you were to able to get something back from then, you still wouldn't be the same person as today. Right? And the person and all this other energy wouldn't be the same. Everything would have changed. So then it would be all new. So you work with the you that you have today. and you work on strengthening, empowering, building a strong foundation, building a strong core underneath that. And that's how you start to rise. Because it's not that your brain is the problem. Your brain is just this like tissuey, muscly little thing that exists to keep this body working. It is your emotional connection. It is your stories. It is the threads that have held you down. That's right. We're staying on the faith train. And it's funny because the playground down over the hill, as soon as you start to walk down over the hill, there's a frigging train. There's a kid's train in the playground down there. And every time I walk down over the hill, and I'm like, and there's my faith train. And I'm staying on it. And it doesn't mean days are easy. It just means days are due that I have to do the day. So every single moment that you wake up, I have to do today. And it's in if I have to do it, why would I make it so miserable on myself? Why would I torture myself if I have to do this day? Because it's a lot more work to keep torturing yourself to do that day. Right here. You have right here, you have right now, you have this moment. And what are you going to do in this moment? And what are you going to do here? And if you start being the observer of your life and you stop looking into the eyes of the world or anyone else, if you start looking at you and you start wondering more about you and you start becoming curious about you, it's amazing what you'll discover. You've got to be willing to do the hard stuff, because you're not going to get to the new life if you don't do the hard stuff. They're not going to come in and zip into your life and do all that for you. So there's hope. And over here, we're being told to see it. Frida, she is the stargazer. So she can either see herself as on top of the world and she has everything that she needs, or she could hang on to one little story and then neglect everything else that is still there for her. What do you still have in your life? What is still accessible to you? What is still available to you? What do we still have? Right? What is here for us? Pick out your nuggets. Pick out the pieces of the golden pieces of you. And last night's meditation, which you can still do my last night's meditation. It is recorded. How come every time you go in to do soul journeys, or every time you say, oh, I've had a past life, I must have had a past life as this witch that was burned on a stake, or this person who was cursed, or this or that. Why is it we pick out the bad ones? Why do you pick it out that you would have had to always had the horrible experience, the bad experience? What about the goodness of you? What about the beauty of you? What about the awe of you? And when I sit here today and I look over at the roof over my head and there's food on my counter, and that I don't have a gun to my head, or that I don't have fear that I'm in a country that I can't get fucking out of, that we just got abandoned in, I know I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. And so even in our countries right here, right now, sometimes even those that are living in like a say, even if you're living on social services right now, you're blessed. You're blessed because some countries don't have that available. Some countries don't have a roof over their head. Some people don't have running water. You have running water, you have toilet. And so we build these stories in our minds, and we create these stories in our minds of how we think people are. So you look at the queens and the kings of a few thousand years ago, you're living better than them. And you create these stories of they lived in these big castles and they wore these big luxury dresses. They had no heat. Their lives were always threatened every single day. They had no plumbing. They had no clean water. They had to drink wine. Like there was no running water. There was no sanitation. There was no nothing. So are we not blessed? And peeling back all of that are all the things that I've had to really dig and search out. Yeah. Past life. I've questioned a lot lately of how bad could I have been a pet, and I'm being punished for it. Oh, Natasha. right? And like, see what we do to ourselves. What about how good I was? What about seeing, the possibilities? So a lot of things that are happening in our lives, I want you to look at, how much stress have I been under? How much stress have I placed on my body? How many hours, how many moments of my day have I wasted on worrying about what I cannot control and what I cannot change? How much of my beautiful day have I spent trying to force and push agendas and trying to force people to like me, love me, accept me in my life? Do you know what that does to the body? You know what that does to us? Do you know how many opportunities we miss out on by trying to make somebody else happy in unhealthy relationships and doing those things? So were we really, you know, how much of that happened in our lives? That's called negative energy. That's chains, right? And that pulls us down. And so our body has stories to tell us about what we have done, about what we've held on for too long. And our body pain is often speaking to us because your body has muscle memory. And so you've got to be able to break the habits, break the muscle memory. And so no matter how much your brain has worked on it, your body often hasn't. I think I'm a preacher. I think, Lisa. Uh, I have nothing right now, but I spent the day in the Okanagan pedaling board, private, right? So change the first statement. I have nothing. What is accessible to me right now? What is accessible? What can I access that is available to me right now that has the high energy? I love you, Susan. And I know, I always say this to everybody. If you could see what I could see in you, if you could see what I could see in you, you would never doubt you. Because having this ability that I have to see beyond can really make you frustrated sometimes, but it really brings me to a place of hope. Because if you can all see when I meet you what I am meeting, and if you could see what I'm meeting, and then you start to know that you can meet that version of you and that you could become that, you would never doubt you. And having this gift and this ability to see beyond is, I can see the world. I can see what's going to happen in the world. I can see what's going down. It's a, it's a, I used to call it a blessing and a curse. Now I call it my gift. It is my opportunity to be able to toe the line, to stay, stay on top of that faith train, to be able to know that if I can toe that line, if I can be that level of hope for people, if I can be that beacon, if I can be a lighthouse, and if all of us could be that, imagine how beautiful the world could be, right? And so this I'm going to say with love. We have to really look at our fear stories. And the frustration that came for me was way back when all of this started. How some of the people that were once mentors and leaders and people that I looked up to, or that inspired me to keep going, were some of the first people that started to lead the way in the fear stories, to manipulate the energy, to try to force a change because the world wasn't going the way that they wanted. And they pushed the fear agenda, and they pushed it and they pushed and they pushed it, and it was like instilling fear into the world to get what we want to see happen. It's not about what we want to see happen. When we are people who are healers, who are light workers, who are called upon to be of this, we're here to walk the middle road. We're here to stand in this place, to be spiritually, emotionally mature enough to be able to stay calm, to be able to to gain perspectives, to be able to look at everything as a whole, and to hold the hope and the faith in knowing that no matter what we have to face, no matter what's going to happen, that on the other side of that, there's a beautiful life. And I will not push those fear stories. And so I make sure that I put a lot of effort and work in stepping away, healing, doing what I need to do. I'm not here to be a celebrity. I'm here to be a lighthouse. I'm here to stand here and to be this and to be present, and not just for you, for me. So when I look in the mirror, I no longer see mask and what I think I need to be. See you. See you. And I mean the true you, the you that first arrived before any hands ever were laid upon you. When you arrived as pure love, unconditional love, you were full of all of that. And that's what we're here to be. You're welcome, Jennifer. Lisa, every night I experience a sore left foot on the top near two small toes, killer pain. I was wondering what my body was telling me about the pain. Interesting. So I'm going to ask of you to lean on that pain, to lean into that pain. I don't know why, but you have to lean into that. Ah, yes, Catherine, right? It's like, yeah. So those moments are going to come. It was that due date, and you know it was coming. We know, like, we prepare. You can't prepare yourself for what your body's going to feel, but to nurture. So the biggest thing that we can learn to do is to nurture ourselves, be a mother to ourselves. Stop trying to mother the world and mother ourselves. And that's where I was. That's why you haven't seen much of me. I've been nurturing what needs to be nurtured in me so that I can be the best of me here. Because integrity is everything to me, dignity is everything to me. And I put my all into what I do because I love what I do. I love who I get to be. And I take it to be a gift and a blessing, and an opportunity to be this is not something I take lightly. It's not a it didn't come out of a Cracker Jack box. It didn't come out of a Cracker Jack box, and it wasn't to be a and it wasn't for entertainment. That's not what it was designed for. And so I don't use it as that. Oh, thank you, Catherine. A mermaid. A mermaid is beautiful. You just in this world and out of this world. And which world do I belong into? Why do I have to belong in either world? Why can't I just belong? And not trying to make yourself fit in. Just be. Right? Okay. We go. Feels like a Cracker Jack sometimes, right? Yeah. Okay. We got to get to the future card because it's getting late, and I still got some full moon stuff to do, and I still got a class to finish for tomorrow. And so for anyone joining in late that has been with me for a long time, that this is my new space. This is my upstairs living room, and I am overlooking the lake of Sylvan Lake. So, hmm, I wonder if you have some RSD, some reflex sympathetic dystrophy happening in that foot, Lisa. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Yes, I I hold true to who I am as a light worker. And actually, that's what More Than Existing, if you go through the whole More Than Existing program, I train light worker coaches. And I actually have 12 that just graduated for the first time through the whole program, and 4 that have all of their certifications now done. And so 4 light worker coaches through the More Than Existing program that are also now out there and being able to help, because the healer is inside of us. My job is to, I don't want people, I don't want people to take away people's free will. I want to help you heal to be able to trust your free will, to trust your instinctual self, to trust your gut again, to be able to know that when you can trust that, that your intuition is not contaminated with the viruses of the minds and the second thoughts and all the other stories. Who are we with no story? I will, Lisa. That goes back to my story about my daughter being paralyzed in her foot and me having to do the healing work on her foot. Oh, thank you. So here's our future full moon card as we're going through, the next week, the next few days, the next, as we're coming through all of that. Who who do we become? And I'm not into fake it until you make it. I'm in deal with it to heal it. Don't fake it. Don't put on any more mask. Don't wear your truth. And it doesn't mean that you got to share, like, so in trauma response, biggest thing that I've had to pull back on, and this is part of being, gifted with ADD, is the essence of oversharing. Oversharing is one of the biggest things that we do because we just want to be heard. Like, it's like blah blah blah, and you just like let it all out, and but not everybody in this world deserves the best of you. Not everybody in this world deserves to hear your most sacred, secret things. And it doesn't mean you're ashamed, and it doesn't mean that you need to hide it or suppress it. You save it for the people who have enough compassion for you to want to inspire you to become a cheerleader, to encourage you, to as some of these ladies know, that I tell them, you got to grow up, and I say it in the most loving way. But you don't have, stop spilling out. And so, as Ronita's down here kind of chuckling, and Catherine, I say to him, shut up, stop talking, start listening. Because what happens with a closed throat chakra, what you are doing is you're blah 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 blah. That's not open throat chakra. That's just as closed as someone who's not talking. Because the most powerful ability of communication, it comes in the power of listening. So when you're listening to yourself, when you can hear yourself, when you can hear yourself and you can't shut yourself up, and then you're like, oh God, what am I saying? It's because you're not. And so the reason why oversharing is not that good thing is because you're not conscious of what you're sharing. You're not conscious. So you are sharing out without you connecting to the energy that is behind the conversation that you're having. And so you're diminishing and taking away often your own light, but you're also, how people receive you is on them, right? That's theirs. And so when you can listen to yourself, when you can put it in perspective for you and not suppress it, but write it out, breathe it through and say, what is it, what is it I really want to say right here, right now? What is it that I really want to speak? What is it that really needs to be said? And question yourself on why you just wanted to get all of that out. And it's that verbal diarrhea. We just want to be able to be heard, or we just want to be seen. Well, that leads us into our future card, which is the performer, which is Sasha. And there's one thing to be, on duty, in the call, to be living a life that's on purpose, to be living present with your on purpose life. And then the other one is to put on the persona, put on the mask, play the role. So when you feel like you always have to, okay, I got to show up as this kind of person and I got to be that kind of person, that's your protection. So all that blah, blah, blah that's coming out, that's actually your fear. That means, if if you nurture yourself enough and you can say, okay, you don't need to do this today. You don't have to be that today. Take the mask off. And we went on horseback riding over the summer, and it was one of the things that I challenged myself to do. Probably should not be doing it because of neurological things going crazy. And I trusted what I learned was I trusted the horse more than I trusted me. And that was a real aha moment. And no matter how far you've been, there's things, we're human. And my sister-in-law kept saying, "You're so quiet, you're so quiet. Like you're the quietest one." And first thing Corey, my partner, said to me, "Now, when you get out there, stop talking and just enjoy your ride. You don't have to help everybody. You don't have to be there for everybody today. Be there for you." And I was so quiet and I had no desire. And I was talking to the horse in my telepathically, connecting to the horse. And as soon as the horse started, I just said to the person in the lead, I'm like, the horse is very tired. He said to tell you he's tired. He really don't want to go. He don't really want to go. He's really tired. And he kept stumbling and he kept falling. And then I realized I don't trust myself enough to know when I'm tired, when I've had enough, when I should stop. Because to be a workaholic and to be someone who keeps overgiving and overdoing is that I have no gauge on overdoing and overgiving. So it's the same thing with oversharing. And so finding that gauge to be able to gauge that, to know that, is that when you learn to listen to your body, you will be able to be more able to empower and inspire yourself into your own healing. And it's crucial. Yes, Catherine, I know you have. And so that is a big share. So that's our performer. And so that's coming into our future self. Where are we in that energy? What are we doing? And what are we seeking and searching? If it's validation or if it's some sort of answer that's never coming, you're never going to get that answer outside of yourself because the answer you seek, like the treasure you seek, is inside of you. It exists in you. Hence why I now work as the light worker, as the emotional and spiritual consultant. I help people to be able to grow, to be able to step forward, be able to know that we have to mature beyond the point of our hurtful stories. And we ain't fixing who you were. Because that's just good. It's gone. And so our future card that comes out from the other deck is the sad embrace. And so sometimes when we're in that overactive, reactive, all of that state of being in the performer, is that you don't realize that that's a sad appearance. And people that can see through that can see your sadness. And that's attitude, right? And that's you're never hiding what you think you're hiding. It shows up in the act. It shows up in how loud we are. It shows up in the attitude that we put out. I don't care. I don't need anybody. And if you only knew, and if you only did this, and if you only did, and so we boss people. Are you telling people what to do and what they need to do with their lives, and then you're telling people they F off, and or you're like attacking the whole world, or you're telling people I'm deleting you, I'm canceling you out of my life, and da da da. All of that, all of that is our own fear. And it's reflecting something to us that if we start to listen, if we go quiet and silent with ourselves, it's amazing what we will discover. It's amazing what we'll find inside of ourselves. That time I walked into the salon. Yes, exactly. That's bananas. Yeah, right? Can you see it now? It makes sense. And so when I talk about share, you don't have to share with stop oversharing, stop doing those things, is because that gives you an opportunity to sit with the most precious person you can sit with, you. What do I really need to say? What do I really want? What am I really? Why me? And I used to always say, why not me? And so I started to write out some powerfuls. Why me? Because I have experience, I'm intelligent, I'm caring, I'm compassionate, I'm kind, and I can give you a massive freaking list. Why me? And because I take no bullshit. Because I love you enough not to let you spiral while you're in that time with me. Accountability is not guilt and shame. It's not punishing yourself. It's standing as the woman, the man, the person that you are today and knowing what we can do, knowing what's capable. Beth, makes me wonder. I've been listening to my body and thinking my daughter will be coming sooner than our due date. Reminds me when I was pregnant with twins, same symptoms, right? So don't compare it. Please don't compare it to when that experience, because we want to send nothing but for your daughter coming in now. We want it to be a whole new experience, right? Because of the experience of with your with your sons, and then and so knowing that your angelic son is going to be just holding your space, holding your energy, that this little girl deserves all of her own experience back, and we're giving her all of her own experience and all of her own love, and just knowing that she deserves to have her own experience, her own identity, her own starting out with her own essence, right? And so if she comes early, she's coming early because she's strong, she's confident, and she's breaking her way into this world to let the world know that she is here, because she's coming in because she knows who she is. She knows why she's coming. She knows what she is, in such a big, powerful way. So she comes early is because she's saying, look at world, here I come. And so, yeah, so stay listening to your body, but don't let the mind stories interfere into that, right? It's like, this is a new experience, and this is a new, beautiful experience. And I can't wait to see her little face. She's beautiful. And so I'm going to pull one last card to validate all of this for us. And I am like sweating here. And I have no makeup on because, this is not what I was planning tonight. But something told me this is where I need it to be. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, because it's your love for me and your support of me that brought me back. Because a whole part of me did not want to come back in. And I know in my heart and my soul, I wanted to just write and teach, and not to, I almost, I don't know what happened. I can't tell you what happened. I don't know where it all went. I don't know what happened. All I know is that I heard Corey go rest. And I had to do it, and I didn't know if I didn't know how much of this I could do again. And so I carry the weight of the world because I feel the world. I don't take it personally, but I do feel it. And I know ahead of time, and I see it, and I exist in the ability to see beyond. And so, but I'm thankful for all of the beautiful people who show up here. And even if your life is not totally beautiful, you have to know that I see you, and I see the beautiful people. So I hold on to hope that the whole world has the opportunity to be a world full of beautiful people someday. I truly do. So thank you. And so one last card. Well, I have lots of courses, Joanne. Lots of stuff. And so you see, I told you, you just can't make this shit up sometimes. The final card of the night, the awareness of truth, Corina. Card number 40. And this is the awareness of truth, of, the power of knowing that we have to put ourselves up on our own thrones. We have to hold ourselves up and accountable and hold ourselves up to a higher standard, hold ourselves up to the standard of where we know we deserve to be and the life we deserve to live. And then we have to rise everything else up. And so this beautiful card was a gift to me. And the artist, Amelia Richard, who painted my deck of cards, who took all of my channeled sketches, and she created them into these paintings, and we worked together to create these. Well, this wasn't a card that was going in the deck. This was a Christmas present to me. And this is how she seen me. I didn't see me this way. This is how she see me. And so it ended up in the deck of cards as a reminder to each and every one of us. I go by Corey. I was christened as a child. I was given the name Corina. But that's how much we are changed. That's how much we are, programmed and conditioned. They named me one thing, but they never used the name. I became Corey. Nobody could explain why. And then they spelled it the same way that my partner's name is spelled, because we are Corey and Corey. And I changed it when I was about grade 1. I'm like, I'm going to spell my name how I want to spell it. So I changed it to Corrie, and I became Corey. And I created all of that. But from the Corina, and how I relate to it now is that perfect little innocence. That perfect little innocence is that return to grace and that return to the essence of us and her before the world touched her. And nobody knew they had a channel or a mystic, and nobody knew they had this gifted little child. Even though we're from a family of healers, and a family of healers on one side, witchy women on the other side. And so nobody knew what I was or what to do with that child. And so you become programmed and created. So the awareness of truth is the return to you before any stories, the return to you before you actually came fully into this world, and that you can still access that. And so when I started to access that, you notice I'm not wearing a crown because my hair is my crown. And I spent 30 years behind the chair, 30 years helping other women see the beauty in them, to inspire women to believe in themselves and to give them temporary, satisfaction in hopes that they could feel and sense and see what I seen of them and that they could step up to that. But I lost me. And in finding me and becoming the essence of my truth was never about who I was even behind the chair. It's who I could become after the woman who was crippled, who had to give up all of that identity, all of that beautiful life that provided for her, and to have faith that there's another life. And that's what we do. So as we step up, good night, Lisa. So as we step up and into ourselves, you're not anything of who you were, and you can never be. But all the way back before that, all the way to that deep soul connected, they dropped us in and said we have everything that we would need. But who would know that? And now you do. And so this is your messages for tonight. Now you know, what are you going to do with it, right? Now that you know, now that you have been awake and aware into this, what are you going to do? And how are you going to show up? And what are you going to do for you? And where do you need to put your attention during this moon? Once in a blue moon, miracles happen. I'm praying for a miracle. I'm praying for things to come into my life and to unfold, that I don't have the concerns anymore, that I don't have to live with those concerns, and that I can really, truly be able to be of service and to be able to do beautiful things in this world, to be a part of the beautiful world. And I said, I turned 50 and I'm only just born to live. And now I'm just living. And so, Teresa, I'm so glad you got to stay here all night. And this is This is from this point on, from tonight, from this moment on tonight. Who will you all be? You're not who you were when you came in because something has shifted and changed. So, this beautiful healing, I hope, inspires you. And my blessing to you tonight is that you can see a little glimpse of what I see. So, phew, thank you, Lisa Richard, for always being by my side, and Lisa Starr Francis. These are two amazing healers who work with me on a regular basis, and Lisa Starr Francis is one of those amazing women who's the word alchemist, who also is there every single day. Every day she's on her page with her words. And Lisa Richard is Loving Energy Recharge. She's the architect. She is the designer behind the look of More Than Existing. She is one of the instructors. She's a creator in there, and she has her own programs. She's also a light worker coach, and she's been through More Than Existing. Every program I've ever done, she's done. um, and she owns Loving Energy Recharge, and she's also the designer of my website. If you see my website, that's her. Um, and so, yeah. And so, thank you, ladies, for being there. And you're all so welcome for the messages. I have no idea how to got pulled to this tonight, but happened it shifts. Right? Yeah, because this is where you're meant to be tonight. Be the best I can be. That's right, Natasha. Be the best you can be. You're welcome, Liz and Ronita. You're welcome, Rose and Joanne. When I woke up this morning, I was questioning myself. Why am I here? What am I meant to do and how? Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Thanks, Lisa. And thank you all. Thank you to everybody who's been here. Thank you for everyone who stayed so late. I know some of you, like Natasha's all the way in Newfoundland. I know how late it is. Natasha's from my hometown. Uh, thank you to everybody. And so much love to you. Thank you for being with me. And if you want more of my work, if you want to work with me, if you want to get involved into any of my programs, go to the MTE Academy .com, I think it is. It's in Teachables, but the link is shared in here. Lisa shared the link in here, and it's More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness is what it's called. And I have More Than Existing starting again in September. And it's the level 1, which is the 6-month one. And that one is the bigger one. And it is a big journey. And so it's weekly that you get to be with me. And I am also the author of More Than Existing. So if you have not read my book yet, get my book. Amazon.ca.com, Balboa. Amazon's the cheapest like shipping place to get it. And if you have Prime, then it's usually free shipping. Balboa is more expensive, but Balboa has it. Barnes and Nobles has it. And yeah, and Lisa just shared the link to the school again. And you can get into my course for tomorrow night and still do the recording from last week. And thank you. Oh, Susan, I'm so glad you made it in tonight. Thank you. Thank you for staying all the way till the end. I love you all. And just don't be afraid to ask our guides tonight just for whatever it is you need, not out of desperation, but out of faith that they are there for us and we are all there for each other. So much, much love. And I am fully back to work in September, fully back to work. So I will see you all soon. And hopefully I can get right back into my lives. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful full moon. Thank you, Natasha.